right, are we live? We're live. We're live on the north lawn of the White House, where the president's got some music blaring in the Rose Garden. There's a couple events happening today and over the weekend. He's staying in town this weekend because the Kennedy Center honors are happening. And you can see behind me, the White House is all decorated for the holiday. And just over the portico, you can see the crane working on the ballroom construction in the East Room. So apologize in advance for the noise, if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. But the real action we're waiting for is coming up in just about an hour from now. We're going to see the executives from Ford, GM, and Stellantis here in the Oval Office announcing with the president this new fuel efficiency standard that they say is going to save buyers of new vehicles about $109 billion because they're effectively rolling back these greener energy standards that were enacted under President Obama and then tightened under Biden, that the White House now says under the Trump administration would have increased the cost of a new car by about $1,000 relative to what these standards are going to become. So we'll get more details on that, but it's an interesting push that they're making on affordability. Yesterday, you recall, the president focused a lot on these new Trump accounts, which he called effectively a trust fund for American kids. They kicked it off, this announcement, with a donation from the entrepreneur Michael Dell. It was a $250 donation for 25 million American kids, amounting to $6.25 billion. Treasury is also injecting $1,000 into accounts for kids born between 2025 and 2028 that will compound in interest and basically grow for them to use when they become 18. And the event today, the event yesterday, and then also the president's discussion about your rebates coming up when you do your taxes this year, what you're going to get back. It's all part of this push and push back on Democrats' messaging on affordability. There's some simmering frustration in the background that just a couple weeks ago you had Democrats win off-year elections in states like New York and Virginia. Those races turned out the way that they were expected, but turnout was a little bit eye-opening. And then just yesterday in Tennessee, you had a Trump-won district, a district the president won by 22 points. The Republican win back a seat, but it was by single digits. So when you have your eye on the upcoming midterms and you're looking at the narrow majority in the House and the Senate, especially in the House, and a lot of these members who won their districts last cycle by less than 10 points, you're looking at those statistics and wondering, yikes, is this affordability messaging that the Democrats are talking about going to cost Republicans in the midterms, and how do we get around that? The president's frustrated. You hear him talk about this affordability messaging as a con job because he says, the way he views it, things were much more expensive under Biden. It's a sham for Democrats to be talking about affordability because nothing was affordable under them. But they also have to walk this careful line where they don't want to make the same mistake that the Biden administration made, where they basically told voters that things are actually better than they feel. You don't know what you're talking about, and don't pay attention to your wallet or your bank account. Look at these statistics that we're giving to you. So they've got to find a way to basically tell people that they understand how they feel while they're working on making things better, but also take credit for what they have done. And so you're seeing in recent days more of a push to highlight positive economic news. And it was interesting to me watching the cabinet meeting yesterday. The president said, people are going to tell me that I shouldn't say that the Democrats are a scam with the affordability messaging, even though I'm right about everything. And I think that's a little bit of a reference to the folks around who are like, look, we have to talk about this in a way that gives you credit, but you don't want to offend people who are having a tough time making ends meet, especially ahead of the holidays when you're looking at your wallet and wondering what you can afford. You got the gift giving season happening. And so I think the president was smart yesterday to highlight what you're going to get in rebates with some of the reforms in the big, beautiful bill, no taxes on tips, Social Security, overtime. And then also he said that you're going to see some tariff revenue potentially come to people. That would be very interesting if that happened, because the tariffs have been, they're caught up in some litigation right now. Of course, the administration thinks that they're on solid ground, but there's a question mark on the tariffs right now. But he said that he thinks the money that's being brought in is so significant that one day people might not even have to pay income tax. Of course, that all sounds really good to someone who is looking at their figure in their bank account and wishing it was a little bit greater, especially ahead of the holiday season when we're all trying to celebrate and not think about how expensive things are. So, Merry Christmas. We will be seeing the executives from these car companies coming up soon, and these new fuel efficiency standards that they say are going to make cars cheaper. So if you're in the market for a new one, maybe a good time. Bye.